2023 NFL Draft is underway, and the Lions have surprised us all. So what we're going to do is let's just watch Brad Holmes' presser after we can kind of break it down, talk about it, and then I'll give you my thoughts as a whole as to what just happened. But I will say, starting just off the bat, what a surprising evening it was. Did not see any of that coming. You know, I look at it, and it's hard because the fan base is very, what's the word? Pissed?
What the hell just happened?
However, I think it's fair to say that Brad Holmes has not let us down yet. So don't just jump to conclusions and say, this guy, this sucks. Doesn't suck. I mean, it does not suck. We got a phenomenal running back and also top-tier linebacker in the first round. The fact of the matter is, it's not what you wanted, right? And that's the problem with the draft, is it is Christmas Day, and you wanted the Red Ryder BB gun, and instead, you got socks. It's just, that's the nature of the draft. You want one thing, you get something else. You have dreamt about it now for months. You don't get it, you're pissed. And then when whatever present you do get, you're also pissed about. So I don't think it's fair to sit here and say, oh, the Lions, you lost the draft. I trust Holmes. I do. It is exactly opposite of what I anticipated us doing. You guys know where I sat. I thought Carter at 6, wide receiver at 18. Here we are. We trade back. And it makes you wonder, is it because Holmes and Campbell had either Witherspoon or Anderson at 6? They got somebody traded up, they get in there, they snag them, and then you're like, okay, let's trade back and hope Carter falls or Bijan falls. You drop back, and then Carter and Bijan go ahead of you, and then you're like, well, let's take the next best available. But long story short, let's watch this media conference and break it down, shall we?
He was definitely a guy that we had identified early on in the process. I really kind of just saw him really for the first time when I went to the Texas-Alabama game, and he kind of stuck with me since then. But, look, it's like a handful of favorite players in the draft, and some of those guys were taken.
Boom, there it is. Handful of favorites in the draft. Some of those guys were picked ahead of time. That's it. That's Witherspoon. That's Will Anderson. It was the guys that we all knew, like, they're looking at Jalen Carter, obviously, is kind of like that. I don't know if that's... I think at the point that both Witherspoon and Anderson are gone, it goes to show you, okay, it's either Jalen or Bijan or Gibbs, obviously. And I think this really does show us that Will Anderson was probably the guy on their radar. And then Witherspoon, and then, it's like...
Before we were able to pick, but Jamyr was certainly one of those guys. So we were just thrilled. He's very explosive. He's a weapon. Obviously he can do it all as a runner, but, what he can do as a receiver and a lot of other things. So his versatility, what he's going to bring to the offense, we're really excited about.
Runner and receiver. Does it sound like another running back on the Detroit Lions? Yeah, you guessed it, DeAndre Swift. Think his time here is coming to an end.
And Jack, he's another one that just became a favorite. And, first time looking at Jack, I kind of thought, okay, I've seen these kind of linebackers before. He's big and he's a plugger, but actually, no, he's not. The more you look at him, the more athletic his traits came out and became very, very visible. And then, you start looking at the athletic numbers that he's produced in terms of a lot of top 5 athletic categories among all the linebackers in this year's draft. And for a 6'4.5", 250-pound inside linebacker, that was pretty impressive. But then we're not even getting into, two-time captain. We're not getting into extremely instinctive, extremely smart, extremely physical, very versatile. He can do it in the run game, in the pass game. So, again, we're just ecstatic.
So everything that they love, the intangibles. There it is. It's the Holmes Campbell mentality, the intangibles, which really leads me to believe, okay, yeah, Carter probably wasn't going to be it.
But again, it's not about just don't pick a running back, because that's not how we really view him. And then it's the same thing about don't pick an off-ball linebacker. That's not really how we view Jack. So, you know, if you put them in boxes, you put on a sheet of paper, and you run mock draft analytics, you know, yeah, you can come up with those stats. But, you know, all the hours and research and all the time that we put in.
Holmes just said, if you put them in boxes. Last year, if you remember his presser about JMO, he talked about Jamison Williams, and he said he was put in this little box. He goes, when I pulled him out of the box of the injury, and I started looking at him and his skill and his talent and this, and that, there's no reason I don't go get him. And so in the same way, this is where I trust Holmes. This is where I absolutely trust Holmes, looking outside the box. Let me look at this kid, his characteristics, his skills, his assets, all that he has, and then make a move based on that and what's on the board at the time. So, yeah, where running backs traditionally are not going that early, I get the frustration. I was bummed. I was. The moment it happened, I was like, ooh, because it wasn't what I foresaw or wanted. But guess what? I'm just some guy who's a fan of this team, who loves them and wants to see us succeed. But I'm not a talent scout. And this is where I know you're pissed, but you have to trust Holmes. All because you didn't get what you want doesn't mean it's not good for you.
You know, in terms of looking at these players, it comes very, very visible that what kind of impact that they can bring. And if you look at the totality of the draft, when we selected Jack, he was our highest rated player that was left on the board. And it was actually, you know, by a good margin. So, you know, you can look at, you know, positions and all that kind of stuff. But, you know, especially in this draft, if you try to get cute.
So Jack Campbell, the linebacker from Iowa, obviously at this point he's saying he's the highest rated on their board at that time. And like, I know my brother texted me and he was like, that's who I wanted. I wanted Campbell, Bills fan. Dan was on the show as well. Like, yeah, we're sitting at 18 and traditionally, once again, maybe that's not the guy that is picked, but it doesn't matter. If we have trusted Holmes for 2 years because he's given us what we wanted, and this year all of a sudden you don't get what you want and you're like, F you, like, get out. No, you're wrong. You're wrong.
And you're saying, oh, well, no, there was no other, whatever you would tab as a premium position. Oh, you better get a pass rusher. Oh, you better get a tackle. No, that's not what the case was. You know, we had him as a highest rated player, and the same with Jamyr. Jamyr was the highest rated player. So we'll just take the best players for us. I've always said that that's what we're going to do. And we find players that fit us and what we're about. What we're about as a culture, from a character standpoint, from a tangible standpoint, from an intelligence standpoint. But like, the talent is one thing, but these players fit us, and that's why we're thrilled about it.
Conviction. If there's one thing that Holmes has, that he has had in every single draft, that he's going to have forever, it is his conviction. It is conviction on the player of saying, that's the guy. That's the guy. Like, he doesn't care about the numbers. I mean, you look at guys that have fallen that other teams have looked at that have said no to, whether that is Malcolm Rodriguez or James Houston, even Josh Pascal, like certain dudes that have fallen into our lap that Holmes, Amon-Ra St. Brown, that have fallen. And that with his conviction, he's like, that's the guy, let's go get him. All because it's not the guy you wanted doesn't mean it's wrong. And so and this is where it's like, immediately, I was like, whoa, I am thrown off. I was bummed, trying to figure it out. But as one day has gone by, I'm sitting here and I'm like, all right, I believe in the process and I believe in Brad Holmes, and you're going to drag and drop a fully healthy receiving, rushing running back into this offense with Ben Johnson, I mean, you're talking about a homer. I think that this could be a home run. It will take time. And it's kind of like when you watch a TV show and people watch the finale of the show. They love all 6 seasons. They get to the finale and they go, oh, the finale sucked. What a waste of my time. That show sucked. Well, did you enjoy it for the last 5 seasons, last 6 seasons? You just didn't enjoy the way it ended. That doesn't mean the show sucks. It might be a bummer, but it doesn't mean it sucks. Same with the draft. You got 7 rounds of playmaker opportunity. You have to look at it in totality. You have to look at it as a whole and say, okay, how do we come away from this? Where do we stand? Again, I think some players got snagged. We put ourselves into a position where we thought we were going to be able to get other guys. They get snagged. You do the best you can. He has conviction on Gibbs, on Campbell. They were both the best for him. He said on our board, that was the best available. Let's get him. I trust it. Might not like it immediately, but I do trust it, and it's growing on me. It is. Listening to him talk, it's all growing on me, and I hope it's growing on you as well. A classic Lions fan thing to do right now would to say, same old Lions, and walk away. Say, screw this, I'm done. No, it's not it. Calm down. Everybody calm down.
I get it, man. It's not the guys that everybody had in their mock drafts and all that stuff. And frankly, we don't care. We feel really confident about the work that we put in.
Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. Brad Holmes, frankly, I don't care. He's just calling out the mock draft situation. Just being like, nah, your mock drafts with your numbers and your analytics don't matter. We got a guy.
And what those guys are going to do on the field. And I think our fans are going to be really, really proud and really excited.
All right, we're going to end Holmes' conversation there. I think as a whole, what we could take away from this is we had guys. They had guys on their board. They got taken. They did the next best thing possible. Lions fans, dude, anybody calling for his job, I don't know what's going on in your brain. I'm sorry, because I disagree with you completely. Holmes did the best that he could do with what he was given, with the opportunities at hand. Guys, think about Jared Goff with a fresh, brand new, young Todd Gurley in L.A. You take Gibbs and you put him in there as a receiving running back. I mean, yeah, I think Swift's days are absolutely numbered here in Detroit. And his injury, his prone to injury is just too high. So yeah, we go get Montgomery. Get the little bowling ball, bring him in here. Running back's room is crowded. But honestly, I'm fine with it being crowded with a stellar player, a playmaker coming in immediately, a guy that we know what Brad Holmes just said, he's ready to go day one. This is not a 1-year, 2-year development. This is plug and play. And if you give the Lions a stellar running back immediately who runs a 4.36 Super Bowl run, let's go. Jack Campbell, dude, another stud player. There's a lot for us to break down as we go, but I think the big thing to walk away from here is it's not what we expected, but it is good. Don't be fooled by the title running back or linebacker and being like, oh my God, this sucks at 12. Everybody just calm down. Let's see it unfold, see how the entire draft unfolds, see where we grab some depth, and then take it from there. I mean, week 1, everybody might be, all the people that are calling for same old Lions right now, or this is crap, fire Holmes, you're wrong, calm down. And week 1, you might be buying yourself a Gibbs jersey. So I'm just saying, trust Holmes. Stop doing the thing that fans do where you're like, oh man, you didn't do what I want, so get him out of here, fire. Don't be stupid. Don't be delusional. Come on. You trusted him for 2 years, and then he does something you don't like, and then you're ready to abandon ship? God, let's remake the Titanic and cast you immediately. I'm just saying. We might not like it. You might not like it. But just calm down. It's not a bust.